Welcome to episode 912 of Apartment Hacker. This is Mike Burnett of Apartment Hackers. My mission to tease out human potential in the multifamily space. So someone called me out the other day and said that I touched my face 20 times in the course of 2 minutes while I was doing an Apartment Hacker episode. So I'm going to try very hard not to touch my face. But wanted to talk about what keeps me up at night as of late as it relates to business. And that is the accelerating pace of the adoption of technologies in the multifamily space. And I think I'm slowly but surely warming up to the idea of calling it the virtual leasing effect. And what I mean by that is the just absolute breakneck speed that virtual leasing, the implementation of virtual leasing, breakneck speed with which that happens. So now in my head, everything should happen at virtual leasing adoption pace. So something that we set in place as an industry. It wasn't just companies, any one company. Every company put virtual leasing in place in a matter of a week or 10 days at best. And through the ingenuity and creativity of every team member up and down the chain, the hierarchy, if you will. Everyone got on board. Everybody knew what the aim was. Everybody had the wherewithal to get it all done very quickly and get it set in place. One might argue that all the stars that aligned, consumer behavior had already warmed up to the idea of doing virtual leasing or virtual activities. One touch to the face. And our industry had already started to introduce the idea of self-guided tours. Actually, that was introduced like 5 or 6 years, 7, 8 years ago by Eric Brown. Maybe someone prior to that, but Eric Brown really made a push for it and really got a lot of blowback for it. Eric Brown at Urbane Properties. He was doing self-guided tours before the industry was as a whole was talking about it. But anyway, the point is, one might argue that the adoption of virtual leasing was really underpinned by all the stuff that was setting itself in place or had been setting itself in place over a long bit of time. But I think that just about anything today, because technologies, the infrastructure is setting itself in place, that a lot of things like artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, certainly the impact of 5G or mesh networks or all the time, always on, all the time Wi-Fi across communities, across a community rather, apartment community, all those things are starting to set themselves in place such that all this stuff is just, it's really more a function of all that stuff coming together versus a catalyst like COVID coming along and accelerating the pace. But doesn't matter what it is, I'm starting to think at a more rapid pace about the implementation and the adoption of these types of things based on that experience of setting virtual leasing in place so quickly. When COVID did make its onset 3 months ago, 3.5 months ago. So my encouragement to all of you as you think through strategic plans for Q3 and Q4 is speed it up. It's unfortunate or it's fortunate, but speed is here, and the ability to be swift is here. Maybe instead of thinking in 90-day increments, you start thinking in 6-week sprints, much like Silicon Valley thinks about getting things done. But it's not going to slow down. In fact, it's when we start to come out of this COVID epidemic, you're going to see the speed of things 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x what we've seen in the past, because we know we can do it now. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.